BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Oh, it's happened again.
Sorry, I accidentally went through puberty again. Hello. Welcome to BRB UK. It's episode 466. I'm Dan. Welcome, one and all. If I was a wannabe GamesMaster presenter, I'd lead in with some kind of poem here, but I can't be asked, so there we go. I'd like to introduce you to a man who thinks that rhyming means that things look a bit similar. Based on the conversation I had with him before the show, where I asked him what rhymes with duck, he said goose. It's Tim Hibbs.
To be fair, I was being deliberately obtuse.
Really?
No,
were you? Okay. All right, of course you were, mate. And then we got another man on the other end of the internet. It's Coleman. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. Happy to be recording another episode of BRB UK.
Next time, say it with feeling. It's all I ask.
That was with feeling.
Was it? Are you just dead inside?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I
I
remember
work a
when
lot
I
of
felt
hours,
things.
okay? It's a very tiring time
I
at
know
the
you do,
petrol
mate.
station in which I work.
I know, they've really got to stop. Are they still making you kind of siphon the petrol out with your mouth?
That's what it is.
Lovely.
Down a darkened alleyway with a blindfold on.
Wow. Definitely sure it's a hose pipe with petrol you're sucking on, yeah?
Yes.
Lovely. Good.
Why would my uncle lie to me?
Anyway. Oh dear, Coleman's gone. He's gone. He's absolutely gone. Is that the uncle who technically doesn't have any lead in his pencil, so it is technically unleaded?
It's the one that makes him call him Uncle Bad Touch.
Whoa!
Anyway.
I'm not actually sure we're related. He just come pick me up after school one day. Said he was a friend of my mum's.
Really? Have you seen your mum since?
Oh,
No.
God, no.
No. Oh, dear, that just went wrong. Right. Back on track. Now, chaps, I don't know about you. I had teenage Dan memories come back to me. No, not the eating my dust variety. One very similar.
Teenage waste, Dan.
Juxtaposed to that. GamesMaster showed up on telly again, didn't it?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Although oddly,
Is my review.
It showed up on YouTube before it showed up on Channel 4, and I wasn't expecting that, and I don't understand why Channel 4 allowed that.
To get the youth in. To get the kids in, you know?
To boost viewer numbers.
But, yeah. Anyway, I would have thought that Channel 4 wanted to drive as many people to watching it on TV, not as interested in people watching it on YouTube, perhaps. I don't know.
I'd imagine there's a moderate chunk of product placement in it. Problem is, a lot of people watching it.
Yeah.
The prize remains a gold joystick. A
I
lot
mean,
of people.
it's not a bad prize.
It's not a bad prize. But a lot of people probably won't know what that joystick is. It was. I remember it well. It was a good flight sim joystick. Back in the day, made by Thrustmaster, I believe. Thrustmaster, as in. They're the sister company of Thronmax. Thronmax. Maxing your Thron since 2013. In a world with tiny Throns, one company has come.
Was
to
that an
redeem
Amiga
humanity.
joystick?
What?
Was that an Amiga
Sorry,
joystick?
I was
The
just
golden
off on
joystick.
there, mate. What?
Yeah.
I believe the old one was.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still the same joystick.
I think it's pretty much the same thing. But anyway,
I'll have to find that out.
yeah.
How is
I
New
don't know.
GamesMaster? As someone that has been on a similar TV show in their life, Dan, could you?
I know.
I feel you have
I
some
have actually been an audience
expert-
member in OG
expert
GamesMaster. I've been an
information you
audience
could
member.
be given.
Eating my dust.
So
Did you
Yeah.
Did you go to the power station before then, Dan?
I did go to the power station.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's no longer
Well,
in a power
Battersea.
station. It's in what appears to be a disused church in a council housing estate now, as far as I can work out.
They still refer to it as a power station.
They did, but it's definitely not a power station.
Yeah.
Right, so top line review. obviously, Sir Patrick Moore can no longer help with hosting duties because he's a bit dead. So they've
I
gone
think you'll
for...
find Hollywood Magic has allowed us to bring people back from the dead in horrible CGI.
No one wants to CGI Patrick Moore.
Yeah, the E4 budget doesn't stretch to that, so they found another Knight of the Realm in the form of Sir Trevor MacDonald, who it brings a very different thing to it. Clearly has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, but
Similar
that was
voices,
always the case with Patrick Moore as well, so I don't think that's out of place.
Yeah.
I also think that, he's a good picker as a replacement, and I can see... Like, he already made me laugh in the first episode, but I can see him growing into that role a bit more as time goes on as well. And I think he's a good fit for that, no? Like, I think, that's a good pick. I also think that the host, Rab Florence, I'm less familiar with him, even though I've known of him and he's been around stuff. I'm not even sure what he's done preceding this, but I've seen him through Twitter and other things. Like, I've seen him over a few years. First real time, like, actually watching him do something, and I quite enjoyed him hosting it as well. Like, it's not like Dominic Diamond was irreplaceable. Like, I liked him hosting it before, and I think he was a good host for it, and his, like, sort of dry, sarcastic, sardonic nature kind of lent itself well to the format. And I think this host has a similar thing. Might take a bit more time to find his feet, and obviously being directly comparable to someone that was there previously is always difficult. But I thought he did all right. I thought it was reasonably funny, and knows his games, and the other people on it were pretty good. I wasn't blown away with the first episode, Dan, and I think you were of a similar sort of mindset of
I really
not sure.
wanted to like it more than I did.
But it's not like the original GamesMaster was like a phenomenal piece of TV or a particularly high budget thing. It was always a bit ropey, and it was always a bit like you could see behind the scenes a bit too much type of thing. And I don't know. I can see this finding its feet and being as good as the last one was.
What I thought they were going to lean into, bearing in mind one of the first couple of lines out of Rab's mouth, was, that kind of ruining the memories of middle-aged men about video games. And I really thought that's what they were going to lean into. It's going to be quite tongue-in-cheek. But I don't actually think it was tongue-in-cheek enough. It was in a really weird, trying too hard, but also taking itself just that little bit too seriously.
Did I see right on Twitter earlier this week, and Big Boy Barry has jumped ship and joined GamesMaster?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you're aware of Big Boy Barry, aren't you, Dan?
What?
You're aware of
Big Boy Barry.
His
Show that
mate,
you were on previously.
His mate did some physio for me once. Seriously, recently, I threw him a shoulder out. His mate did physio for me.
Okay.
Because we were talking about video games, and I of course, talked about Games World, which is where the Easy My Dust stuff came from. And
Daniel, you in for a beating? Nah.
I have mentioned it before, but I was in the audience for a Games World, not the one you were on telling people to eat your dust.
One of my work colleagues, we think, was probably in the audience when I was filming my episode.
Oh,
one of my current work colleagues.
Well, speaking of Games World, like I heard that...
My name's Daniel. I'm 14 years old. I burned Chris
You
enough
are
in the
a
first
funny
round,
man.
and the rest of you are going to be
I've got a fun fact about Rab Florence for you, Coleman. I've got a fun fact.
Yep.
He once lost
like
to
his
Greg
band.
Hemphill in a professional wrestling contest.
Whoa!
So he's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. Fun fact for you. I would have thought you would have liked it.
I'm blown away that
Good.
you had
You should
such
be.
knowledge.
That's literally seconds of Wikipedia looking up.
Rab Florence
Last time I was on
and the
Wikipedia
Machine.
in this kind of context, I had to rapidly edit an article to make it sound like Jim Carner was racing cars and leotards, which got
There you
me banned from editing stuff on Wikipedia. I was very upset. Curse you, Brady.
I can't remember.
There's a
what got me
Rab Florence and the Games Machine reference in there that we haven't quite plugged all the parts together for. Just,
No.
No,
Not
I
allowing
think you
it.
tried and just proved why we hadn't tried to do that. But thanks, mate. Taking one for the team. Loving your work.
Yeah.
Shall we move on from GamesMaster? Also, are they bringing back the
we
magazine
probably
with
should.
the TV show?
Apparently, magazine's dead. No one likes dead trees anymore, Coleman.
Okay. They could do
GamesMaster magazine
Apart from
existed
Beavers.
a long
Beavers
while after the TV program, no?
Beavers
Yeah,
love
like it only
trees.
died about 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Fine.
Can I just say, just to retract in your comment, no one likes dead trees. All right, beavers love dead trees. All right,
They do.
Okay, that's
beavers
true.
love a dead tree. Don't
Not
go
many
besmirching
beavers
my,
reading
my
GamesMaster,
beaver-based brethren.
though. I think the crossover on that
Oh, they
Venn
love it.
diagram, fairly small. Beavers, people who read GamesMaster. Yeah.
I really think we should move on now. I really think we should move on now.
Sorry, in the words of Columbo, just one more thing.
Yep.
Does Trevor, because I haven't watched the show yet,
Right, yep.
does Trevor McDonald hand out game cheats to people like the old episodes?
No, because game cheats aren't really a thing anymore. The game cheat would be, you can enter this microtransaction to get this reward. Like, that doesn't really translate.
I want to see him go.
Anymore.
Well, what you want to do is go into the source files of the video game and change this code.
What do you want to do? Is you want to probe memory address OXFAAOFFAA and change it from 00100 to 001100, and then you're golden.
The one thing they had the one thing I'll say, just to add to things a bit, like the different kind of contests and competition things that they had were tasks that they kind of set themselves within games. So there was one where someone had to get like a perfect run on the hardest difficulty on Beat Saber. There was one that was in like a Mario level. There was another one in Call of Duty, and
easy.
Like the only thing I'll say is
dust.
A few of them seemed a bit too contrived, as in like, we've made this thing and you have to get through this part of Mario in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, so I'm guessing you know that he can probably do it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like, it just seemed a little bit arbitrary.
Hey, you did it with 2 seconds to spare, Tim. That's
yes.
That is just wonderful television. Having you on the edge of my B-day, that did.
Is it Games World or GamesMaster where there's the legendary clip of the guy trying to do Mario 64 and he keeps falling off and he just completely flips out. He's like, well, I told you I didn't like this game and I didn't want to play this game and you made me play this game. He's had all this time to practice on it and I've never got to touch it.
It's probably Games World, to be fair.
Okay.
Could have
right,
been
shall we
either.
move on and talk about what we've done played? Because only one of us has done played anything. As we've already mentioned, Coleman is been busy siphoning off Uncle Juice in the back streets of northwest London.
Petition to never use the phrase Uncle Juice again as long as the podcast shall live, please.
If
That's not a promise I'm sure I can keep, Tim.
Okay.
I vote if we ever get this weird following where we're popular enough to get like a beer, a craft beer, or a hot sauce
Uncle
or
Juice.
something, we call it BRB UK's Uncle Juice.
Let's just name the episode that and let's be done with it.
Just crack in a cold can of Uncle Juice.
Uncle Juice. Mmm.
What have you been playing, Tim?
Yeah. So quickly moving on.
This is something I'm interested in because this popped up on, guess where? Game Pass. I understand.
Whoa.
But I have been particularly busy in playing games this week, even though I've
Right.
tried a little taste of lots of different things. I used the word smorgasbord last week, I think, so I can't go with that. But yeah, I've had a little kind of taste of loads of different games.
What was the tastiest one? What did it taste of?
The tastiest one was a game called Exo One, which I'll come on into a minute.
What did it taste of?
Tasted like Alien.
No, it's not a taste.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
But yeah,
What does Alien taste like?
Just before I get onto Exo One, which I will come back to in a
second. Does it taste like a Loganberry?
But generally, yeah, the reason why I did try a variety of games is because I was trying out and it's the first time really getting into it and doing so, the cloud functionality and just kind of playing with that back and forth. One of the things that I was really impressed with is that I was able to play Forza in my lounge, go to bed, play Forza in my bedroom, and just like the speed at which that syncs the data and just playing from the cloud without downloading Forza means that I can play Forza in the other room now. Like, it opens up playing it on the Xbox One, which is quite good.
Just to rewind, for those of you who aren't aware, now that's finally been activated as part of Game Pass Ultimate, you can now stream games to your Xbox. Why would you want to do that? Why don't you just download them, people, I hear you ask.
Why would you want to do that? Why would you download them, Dan?
Why
thank
would
you,
you do
Coleman,
that,
for asking
Dan?
that very pertinent question. It's because, no matter how fast your internet connection, if you download a game, you're still going to be waiting probably some time, especially in something like Forza, especially for Forza, which is over 100 gigabytes large.
100,000 terabytes.
Yes, that. It's going to be quicker if you want to get straight into your game, Coleman, if you stream it. Hence why they're doing it. So, there we go. I just thought I'd give the backstory.
Yeah, and even jumping in on quick resume, it took seconds to actually sync the data from one console to the other, basically. Seems to be a bit faster when going to the S rather than going to the Xbox One. But just the fact that I can play those games on my Xbox One is great. Also, Exo One, the game I've played this week, I haven't downloaded the game yet. I might at some point, but I've played it on both my consoles without downloading it. It seemed to run fine as far as I'm aware. Obviously, it's not a game I'm familiar with. I did try a few different things to see, if I could find any weak points or things that didn't work as well. And I said Forza worked well. The one thing that I tried that didn't seem to work well, even when I was playing it in here and it was on a better connection, I tried Dirt 5. Now, gameplay-wise, it seemed fine, but I don't know if this was because it's really pushing the graphical limits of what it's doing, or it's not optimized well. I don't know exactly why, but graphically that looked really poor. I know the textures are supposed to be muddy because it's dirt, but the textures were really kind of washed out and really not highly detailed, basically.
So do you think that's probably because obviously they're having to compress stuff on the fly and trying to keep it at a certain frame rate, so you're going to make trade-offs then, and I
also just to qualify,
Is it that there's variation in the streaming quality, or is it more that you think they were running it on a lower grade bit of hardware and then streaming it from there?
Yeah, that is, as I said, I don't know what the root cause of it is, because there's nothing that really gives me any evidence to support, what that was. But when I'm on a wired, strong internet connection with a good internet kind of thing, it still wasn't able to deliver that. Although I did push it to its limits, because the first race on that is quite visually, there's a lot of reflections on puddles in the track, and then there's a lot of detail in the track itself, in the terrain. So I thought it was a good one to kick off. I know the beginning of that game quite well because I've played through it quite a few times. But then also, I did, I can't remember its performance, and what's the other option on
quality?
Performance or visual.
Yeah. So I kind of hit it on the visual side of things to really test it to its limits type thing, but it failed that test, basically. But that was literally the only noticeable time. When I was playing, Forza Horizon, I didn't notice any sort of problems. I tried a variety of other games. I tried a little bit of Undungeon, which came out this week. I tried a little bit of Mortal Shell, which I'm really glad of the cloud thing, because now that I've played the first few minutes of that, I now know that I would not have been pleased with downloading 9 gigs to find out I don't like that game.
Have you tried Outriders on Game Pass? Because along with Dirt, that was one that never worked for me properly.
Right, that's just had a massive update and patch, so I have been meaning to go into that. Also, might be worth doing cloud, because I think I had to delete that to get Horizon and a few other things onto my console at the moment as well. So,
yeah.
But yeah, literally, as I said, the only thing that it was noticeable in was Dirt, and everything else, it was it exceeded my expectations of I can't even tell that I'm not playing this from the disc, basically, kind of thing, or from the hard drive in the case of both of them generally. But yeah, really impressed just with that as a service, not just because it allows me to play games and not have to download them and stuff like that. It's intelligent in terms of you start playing and then it goes, would you like to download this game? And you can just download it in the background while you're playing.
That's very good.
Yeah, so that's quite good. It's
the thing the PlayStation 4 promised us and never quite did.
But it's the whole integration of the system, the fact that I could then play and pick up on my phone. It just makes games more accessible to me and more easy for me to play in different environments and things when I'm not sat directly in front of my TV. And that opens up, like, I've played more games and had more gaming time this week.
On the toilet?
Well, no, I don't think I've played on the toilet. But I don't think I've particularly played on my phone. Just being able to play games without downloading them and without and syncing them across means that I've been able to play more games in my room, which means I've played more games this week, basically.
Unpacking is a great toilet game.
Oh, yes. Yes, that would be
yes.
an incredible toilet game.
Although it's quite mesmerising, so you might end up in there too long and
With
have
piles.
problems. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So you spend too long sorting virtual piles out and you give yourself actual piles.
Exactly.
Lovely.
That is the danger of Game Pass and on your phone.
You'll get game arse if you overdo the game.
Game
Pass, is what
arse.
you're saying.
That's
Game
it's
arse.
like Nintendo thumb. Game arse. We wrist. You know, we're coining this phrase.
Wow. Game arse.
Sorry,
What, Game Arse?
Sorry,
Game Arse is
sorry,
a terrible
back
deal.
To,
The
back
worst
to Game
deal
Arse.
again.
Listeners, one of you, stick that on Urban Dictionary, please. Thank you.
What, Uncle Juice or Game Arse?
Both. Why not?
Both, please. Just cite us as the source. That would be great. Or Coleman as the source. That's
Look,
fine.
I used Expandalone once, and Big Barrelcast picked up on it, and they started saying they liked it and using it. I heard that in an actual. I read that in an actual PC Gamer thing the other day, and went, "Oh my god, that's travelled." So now I want credit for this stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that did happen, Coleman. But hey, but yeah. Speaking of the realms of possibilities, talking about the game, I wanted to go back to Exo One.
Exo One
came out this week on Game Pass, as we said.
Game
I believe
Pass.
it's also out on Steam. I assume it's possibly out on PlayStation as well, although I don't know that for sure.
No
Tell you what,
idea.
I'm going to ask nice
but-
Mr. Internet.
Exo One is I've heard it referred to as a flow state game, and I recognise that phrase, and that makes sense to me, and I can kind of put that together. But I haven't really played that many. Like I've tried them, but I haven't got that deep into flow state games. I've played Flower, I think, at a game show type thing where we played the demo, and
It's not on
haven't really-
PlayStation.
I haven't.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop doing that now.
Wasn't sure, but yeah, I wasn't.
Also, I think I've played this as a tech demo. It was called Ball years ago.
I mean,
and
that
it
would
seems
make
to have
sense.
Taken off
I
into
mean,
something
I'm not
else.
going to lie, the title's a bit better now.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't make that much more sense. But basically, you are a ball. That's,
No, you're an oblate spheroid.
Well, you're an oblate spheroid, but no.
Your face
yeah.
is a... Oh, no, wait. Glass houses.
You're a spherical object some of the time, but it's kind of an amorphous ball that changes different shapes. You can kind of control the shape or the gravity of the ball, and in doing you do so with the triggers. So basically,
The gravity... Wait, what? The gravity of the ball.
right, it is basically, and they haven't entirely expressed this, but you kind of get the hint from some of the story, and the story's kind of told you in fragmented sections of what looks like the memories of a group of astronauts, possibly. But they're kind of talking about discovering and using an alien craft, and there's one of them that talks about, you just have to trust the design. Just not thinking in human terms, you have to trust their design. And that kind of...
I love me an unreliable frame narrator. That's all kind of lovely storytelling mechanics smunged into one.
It's not quite entirely what's going on, but yeah, as I said, it's
Smudge.
kind of fragmented bits of like memories, and you're seeing bits of a photograph that have a load of astronauts in it. And it's not entirely clear what's going on yet, and I haven't got to the end of the game yet. But generally, this amorphous ball you are under control of, and you can control the gravity of it by pulling down the right trigger, and that will kind of suck you to the ground. But in doing so, say you were on a slope, if you pulled that trigger, you'd start rolling down that slope as well, basically, but picking up speed as you do it. You can also, at will, you can kind of change the shape of the ball into a disc, and that will make you fly, especially if you've propelled yourself into the air from a ball and then change into that kind of disc shape. it's a really, and I think the word unique is overused when describing game mechanics and other things, but this, as far as I'm aware, is a complete unique movement mechanism, basically, and general mechanic. And it's worth playing just to see that mechanic, because it's something that you won't have seen in video games before, and it's interesting and works a bit differently. And like that kind of unreliable narrator, as you kind of referred to, says, you kind of have to let go of the way human vehicles work and trust the design of what's going on. Because you soon notice that there's a glow to the ball as well. There's like a inner glow that radiates out. And as you're flying, that glow dissipates. And as soon as you lose that glow, you'll lose kind of forward momentum, and you'll not be able to maintain flight, basically. But when you don't have to hit the floor, but when you kind of swoop down, or when you hit the floor and you're rolling along the floor, you'll gain more of that orange glow. It will start to radiate back out in the sphere. And then that means that you can fly again. And so you're just using that visual clue of when you can and cannot fly. And you're also, while, like, say you're flying in the sky and you lose that kind of glow, you then dip down.
As opposed to flying on the ground.
Ideally, you'd then land, say, on the far side of a hill or a mountain, that you'd roll down by pushing the right trigger and pulling yourself along quickly to then propel yourself back up into the air, open out into that disc, and kind of fly along. And yeah, it's a really slightly hard to describe.
If you're not watching the YouTube version of this, Tim is getting very animated.
Yes, but it's probably worth looking at the YouTube version of this just to see the video of it. It's a game.
You didn't send me any video.
But I could at some point. But even though it's
Future Tim
something that
tonight,
yeah. Even though I'm going to say watch the video and you get a slightly better idea, I still don't think that, because I watched videos before I played it, and it still doesn't fully convey on its own what's going on and how different it is to something else that you've seen before, basically.
Because I've heard some reviews of the game where they have completed it and they've said, we're still not entirely sure what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of say about the story. I don't necessarily think there's going to be a solid, all-encompassing solution that tells you exactly what's going on in the story. The environments are also, and I think very deliberately, very alien feeling and very, very kind of desolate, remote, and almost deliberately unnerving type of thing. Like I think I've got to a planet now where the surface is seems to be entirely water, and you're able to plunge through the water and stuff like that. But early on, they're all kind of just like rocky or sandy outcrops, and there's some like lava hills and stuff that you go through as well. But yeah, it's all the environments seem like harsh alien landscapes that you shouldn't really be in, kind of thing. They're also like you learn quite early on, and it doesn't, other than telling you the instructions of what the controls are at the beginning and kind of the rules for that, it doesn't really tell you anything. It doesn't tell you about the glow that I mentioned earlier on and how that kind of works, and that visual clue. It just kind of lets you kind of discover that for yourself. Also, you kind of, through playing the game, but generally kind of left to your own devices, discover that there are pickups in the environment that you can pick up to increase your power, which increases how fast you can travel. But generally the aim of each level is just to find the exit to the level. There's no like kind of threat going on. There's not sort of any areas of land that you need to avoid, which I thought the lava might be at first. But yeah, like it's a really interesting game, just as I said, just for the movement mechanic alone, and I think it's worth trying out if you've got access to Game Pass, or if it interests you. I've heard it's only like 3 or 4 hours long, which surprises me and means that I must be somewhere near the end of the game. But yeah, like
or very bad at the game.
Very bad at the game. The one thing I'll say is that, like, as with other flow state games, as far as I've been led to believe, you almost need to be more interested in the travelling than the destination. And and have fun with the journey. And yeah, I think that the kind of interesting mechanic of this, and you kind of going up through sand dunes and then spiraling up into the clouds and stuff. It's one thing I haven't mentioned is there's some really, like, even though it's barren, desolate and all that type of thing, especially when you're going into the clouds, it's really kind of pretty and like interesting and detailed environment in that kind of respect. And yeah, going up into the clouds almost seems like a peaceful respite from the alien world underneath type thing. And I think that's fairly deliberate as well, but.
I mean, I think I happily say, I haven't played this. I need to go and play it. I would like to go and try it out. But I do just worry it will be style over substance. I don't really think this kind of genre of game has nailed it since Journey, which was just an incredible bit of kind of passive storytelling, which, I think games like this will always get compared to Journey. So
I think you'll get enough out of it just to sort of go, "Ooh, look at the thing roll, and now it flies," and that was like a good
glow.
That was a good 30 minutes.
Glow.
I'm done. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I shall relax with it, possibly while giving myself game arse.
See, talking about Game Pass and what's available on there, because the majority of my Game Pass using is on my phone. And I've been using Forza Horizon. I've been playing Forza Horizon, but just while I'm sat on the sofa, and I'm not really doing the races in it. I'm trying to collect all the billboards.
Just buying and selling cars.
This is going to be the year I get all the billboards. Finally,
mate, I've finally driven on all the roads.
All the roads.
There's one billboard that's like up an electric pylon somewhere, and I have no idea how the hell you're meant to get that one. So I'm working around it.
Fly, Bobby.
Yeah, and it seems to work really well on Game Pass on my phone, except for yesterday it started crashing out for some reason. I have no idea what that's about. And then also...
is that your bad driving?
No. Like really, you'd start a race, and it goes 3, 2, 1, and you all start racing, and it comes to the first corner, and then everything freezes. Like,
hell breaks loose.
And then it will come back and everyone's passed their first lap and I'm still stuck in a barrier somewhere. I'm like, okay, that's not handy. And then I switched over to GeForce because I forgot I signed up to GeForce ages ago and used the free version. And I've been using that to play Cyberpunk, and that works really well. And I'm very tempted to start paying for a premium GeForce so you don't get the time limit on it and what have you. But that works much better than Game Pass, but all the stuff you have to have there, you have to own. Yeah. You're not renting stuff that way. But I was looking through, and I just noticed all the Fable games on Game Pass, and that would be a really good thing to have on the phone, I reckon. So that might be my new obsession with Game Pass.
Chicken kicker.
Yeah, get through all the Fable games before the next Fable game.
Also, I won't really go into it because you talked about it last week, but I did manage to pick up a half-price copy of Riders Republic as well, as I predicted.
Woo! We got to play Riders Republic, but not this weekend because Coleman's got plans.
But yeah, I was a bit disappointed that I had to play through the beginning of the game again, having done that in the beta.
Woo! Play through the beta!
That's not uncommon.
No.
Yeah, it's just a part of the game that wasn't the best part of that game so far anyway.
Did you get your steep snowboard?
Cutscenes. No, but then I'm not sure I played steep.
That's probably why then. It's a good thing to have.
Mystery solved.
But yeah.
Like our own little
news?
Kojak you are.
Who loves you, baby?
Shall we move on to the news?
Yes.
Hit me with it, Coleman.
So, looking at the news for this week, and we got a couple of pretty heavy hitters. The stuff with Activision Blizzard's still going on, so we'll wait till...
haven't all three, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, now gone, what's going on?
Yeah, we spoke about PlayStation last week.
It's all right, though, because Bobby
up...
Kotick's leaving Activision Blizzard, because Bobby Kotick said that if he couldn't solve it quickly, then he'd be gone. And he's had 30 years, which I don't call quickly. But who's going to
tell him he solved it quickly?
He's going to be going.
Is Bobby Kotick going to tell Bobby Kotick he solved it quickly and therefore can continue raking in money?
Mm-hmm. Bobby Kotick is going to be, as I said on Twitter, Bobby Kotick's going to be really mad when Bobby Kotick finds out how long Bobby Kotick has been at the Bobby Kotick company.
He does strike me as a man who might refer to himself in the third person rather a lot.
Mm-hmm. Probably. You know, like you ever watch Seinfeld? You got George
Yes.
Costanza, and every time he gets upset, he's like, "George is getting upset." I could see Bobby Kotick doing that. Bobby's getting upset. They're trying to oust me, Jerry.
Bobby will end you.
Anywho, yeah, so the only
Nobby
kind of
screwed
fallback I think should be taken is that the PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo have all come out to say we're not happy with the actions of Bobby Kotick and Activision Blizzard. Not one of them have gone, we're taking your games off of our front page of our store.
Yeah.
We're not stocking your games or anything like that. You know?
Also, one thing that I've heard a lot of people say, which I don't believe to be true, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard multiple people refer to what those statements by those people, by Nintendo, by what's her name, Brian, and from PlayStation, and a few other people, but I've heard them refer to them as public statements. And they weren't public statements. They were released to the public, but as far as I'm aware, all three of them were internal emails to staff that were later, and probably done that they could be released to the public, but just there is a big legal difference between a public statement and a private company-wide email. Like, those two things are not quite the same.
But I think they knew, because this is a very prescient topic, and one that should have light shone on it, that the chances of such a memo staying inside the company were minimal.
But from a legal perspective, and from a putting pressure on Activision Blizzard as a company perspective, there is a very big difference between making a public statement and having a internal email that you did not put a non-disclosure agreement on, or anything that said that they couldn't release it outside the company. This was probably something that they deliberately released inside the company so that it would come out, but they did it in a certain way to give them some legal protections, and it is a slightly weaker thing than coming out and making a public statement. Correct, as I said, if anyone sees any different, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but as far as I know, all three of those people did not make a public statement, and there is a slight difference between doing what they did and making a full public statement.
Anywho, I think the point I was trying to make was more along the lines of, hey, it's all right coming out and going, I'm not happy with the actions of your company, but I'm still going to sell your games.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, not even if you want to keep that Call of Duty cash coming in, then why not just go, look, we're going to take your, because if you open up the PlayStation Store, you'll see Call of Duty on the front page. Why not just say, we're taking down Call of Duty off the front page, and, something.
Until you fix it.
Anything. Anything. Anywho, so outside of the Activision Blizzard stuff, there's more controversy in the news, and we start off with so PlayStation are now being sued by a former IT analyst who is alleging that there is gender discrimination within the company. This is the IT security analyst at Sony PlayStation, or former IT security analyst at Sony PlayStation, whose name is Emma Marjo, I believe. And they put in a lawsuit on Monday talking about discrimination against females at the company, which now it's being reported by Bloomberg that she's now seeking to turn that into a class action lawsuit on behalf of women who have worked at Sony PlayStation in recent years. And also it says that Sony tolerates and cultivates a work environment that discriminates against female employees, including female employees who identify as female, so people who are sex changed or just identify. It's not a great look, and also it's something that it's been claimed that Marjo received a letter stating that a certain department of Sony is being eliminated, and her employment was being terminated for that reason. And that's kind of started off the basis to this lawsuit. But yeah, when all this is going on, you've got the Ubisoft stuff going on, you've got the Activision Blizzard stuff going on, and now not a publisher per se, but like one of the big three is now receiving these kind of allegations. It's not great.
Let's just slightly playing devil's advocate.
And they are allegations. We're not we're not throwing them under the bus. We don't know.
But even then, there is a large scale difference between the allegations leveled at Sony and the allegations leveled at Activision Blizzard, And look, we need to expand our list as well, because we've mentioned Ubisoft in recent weeks, but we've also been letting Riot off the hook. And as much as I like the company, we've also been letting David Cage's company off the hook as well.
Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream.
Well, no, we're not letting them off the hook, Tim, because we reported on Quantic Dream and we reported on Riot.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is we've dragged up Ubisoft's name in the conversation that we had in previous weeks relating to
I just forgot
Blizzard.
Because it had been so long since the allegations.
We haven't dragged up everyone, and it is getting to the point where there's such an extensive list of people with these things. But
it's hard
again,
to keep
as far as I'm aware, and I stand to be corrected, but as far as I'm aware from everything I've seen here, this is so far at least an isolated case. Now, this may expand into a class action lawsuit, and it may snowball into bigger things as more allegations come out and more stuff comes out. But
so just
stands,
for clarity's, just for clarity's sake, though, because we're lumping. Yeah, I mean, this conversation has lumped this particular lawsuit in with other lawsuits.
Yes, and I'm just pointing out the difference between the lawsuits.
The one thing I would say is that at the present time, this lawsuit specifically states is specifically concerned about discrimination, not sexual harassment.
Yes, right.
So that is a very, not saying it's acceptable, but that is a key difference in this case.
That's one of the differences, and also as it stands, this is as it stands an isolated incident of one possibly disgruntled employee. And I'm not saying that she isn't in her rights, and not saying that she isn't right about the fact that there's sexism in Sony. There probably is. But whether there is provable institutional sexual discrimination and sexual allegations, this seems to be slightly separate from that. This is on a slightly smaller scale and a slightly different charge than what we've heard in recent weeks with all the companies we just mentioned. It's not a class action. It's not already a class action lawsuit, which is allegations that are endemic and something company-wide. So I've just seen everyone lumping this in with all the other allegations that have come out so far. And so far, at least, there isn't enough evidence to support the fact that this is one and the same with the allegations, with the more serious, long-held allegations that we've seen on other companies, basically. I'm not saying this isn't a serious thing and should just be ignored and swept under the rug. At the same time, it's not quite the same.
At the end of the day, I think it's a basic tenet. If you do the same job as someone else, you should get paid the same. End of story.
Exactly. In previous allegations, it's more sexual assault and environment and just loads and loads of kind of big piles of crap. This one is you dare to speak out, your department's been made redundant, and therefore you lose your job, which has happened to me. It's a horrible thing.
But those conditions also have nothing to do with sexual discrimination.
Sorry, I wasn't finished talking.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, but also they're talking about not using correct pronouns and stuff like that, and that is the reason they're getting. So it's still stuff that should be looked at, but it's not in. Yeah. There aren't as serious as allegations have been used before, and stuff that unfortunately is things that you use in business. I could very well go, I lost my last job because they decided to play around with politics and make us all redundant, which did happen, but it's not a lawsuit. I couldn't throw anyway.
But for instance, the thing that she's alleging there, that she was terminated and given the reason that a different department was terminated, and that's a case of a wrongful dismissal. That has nothing to do with sexual discrimination. She may allege, and it may be entirely true, that she was fired because she was sexually discriminated and this was the bad excuse she was given. But from a legal perspective, that is just wrongful dismissal. That's not anything else, basically. But yeah.
I mean, I think this kind of behaviour, just to give balance to this, and again, this is not saying it's right, but it's endemic across a number of industries, and the clock is ticking. Yeah. This kind of behaviour has to change. There's no two ways about it. And, whilst the individuals involved in this lawsuit, I mean, the things they're alleging, if they are born to be true, that is, very bad practice and very bad behaviour by Sony.
Yeah.
And that they need to take, not only redress the injustice done to the individuals involved who have been impacted so far, but do their very best to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be investigated and there isn't cause to do so, basically, just to make that clear.
I mean, once again, as is the case when we've spoken about like the beginnings of the Riot stuff, the Ubisoft stuff, the Activision Blizzard, like everything we've talked about before, these are allegations. We're not saying they are true or false. They are allegations being made. Interestingly, though, this is a lawsuit that's filed with California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing, which are the same people dealing with the lawsuit for Activision Blizzard earlier this year as well. So, yeah. But I will say things that are being said within this lawsuit are things that, once again, I have seen firsthand working for different companies. So it's very plausible.
And as I said, I'm not saying that there isn't sexual discrimination within Sony. I'd be almost surprised if there wasn't, because there seems to be that in most large established companies. Yeah, as I said, not saying that you shouldn't go after it either. So, yeah.
Okay, and also speaking about Sony, they're in the news because they've they're in the news because they have patented finally the PlayStation 5 faceplates, which is something I wasn't aware that they hadn't done before.
I just invented a multi-purpose, even though I don't have a PlayStation 5, right? So I put an ironing board on each side so you could then put stuff on your PlayStation, and as it heated up, the creases dropped out of your shirts.
Oh, that's very
clever.
clever.
It'd probably be less ugly than the design is now, so...
Are you telling me that Sony have painted that and I can't make my millions with my ironing board faceplate?
That's what we're telling you, Dan.
Iron face.
I'm surprised this didn't happen at launch, but because they've taken down 2 different companies now, suing them about doing the cease and desists about their faceplates. And the first one went down pretty damn quick, and I can't even remember the name of them. It went that long. The second one was Dark Plates, which still exist. They just changed they changed the design to make it, instead of the flap coming out, it's rounded, and they put a big air vent in there, which now looks like it might attract dust pretty quick. But they do other stuff like LEDs and things for your PlayStation, which I took a look at and went, oh, do you know what?
Little LEDs that go around the edge. I
was looking at it going, do you know what? A black matte PlayStation with red LEDs, that does look pretty boss. I'm quite tempted to do it. But also, they do skins for the Xbox Series S, and you can make your Xbox Series S look like it's made of white marble, and I really like that look.
What, you're just going to leave some cheese on top of it for something
like that? Yes! Of course I am.
So, I think the thing... I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because, hey, that's what I do. I really think Sony have, guess what, handled this completely wrong. Mm-hmm. I think if they'd embraced the community on this could have been a really nice thing they could have done to really kind of get the community buying into that. The problem is the PlayStation brand's so successful that sometimes I think they forget that, much like Microsoft previously did, that they're invincible, that, they can do what the heck they want. We will kind of stick to our guns on this, what we say goes, and are somewhat reluctant to let things out into the community and let the community iterate on them. And I think this would have been a great thing that they could have done.
But as Coleman said, how did they only just patent it? How did they not patent it before they released the console? Before anyone even saw it?
I will tell you exactly why. It's because they didn't intend to go, and they still probably don't. I don't think for one moment they've gone, we're going to make replacement faceplates and sell them individually. They've never thought that. Their entire idea was to go, because you know how they did it with PlayStation 4? They made a ridiculous amount of different versions of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pros to go, here's a Spider-Man one, a Destiny one, here's 2 Destiny ones, here's a Death Stranding one, all these different versions. They were not going to go, here's a red faceplate, here's a blue faceplate, here's a black faceplate. They were going to go, okay, here's the Destiny faceplate, but you got to buy the whole console to get everything involved. And that's the reason we've not seen different faceplates available for the console, because relatively speaking, I'd assume that's easy to manufacture than the actual PlayStation 5 itself.
Yeah.
They are saving those for when they can go, here are the special edition versions of PlayStation 5s for X number of companies. in-game properties and what have you. So they didn't patent it because they didn't intend on selling them singly.
Right, but I can't understand why they would manufacture the product in the way they have if they had no intention of then making the product that goes with that. Like, they made them so they are like fairly easy to detach. They must have done that with a reason. I
think I purely think that is for
cleaning,
the
wasn't it?
Well, to get into it as well.
It's for the idea of cleaning, but also for the idea of, much like with the PlayStation 4, with the original PlayStation 4, it had that little bit you popped off, you could upgrade your hard drive.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you pull the faceplate off instead, and now you get an SSD and stick it in there, which they were intending to. There is the second SSD. They're finally starting to use it, even though it's still in beta. But that was the whole plan to pulling the thing off, not because they were thinking, replacement faceplates.
But how did they not think that? Like, how did that not cross their minds?
Because it's Sony!
This thing that just attached in my hands. Maybe we could
They
sell
thought
some
we were
of
going to
these.
get a second job to play for a for a 500 quid console, the PS3.
I mean,
it's Sony. They say dumb things.
I would have bought, if they'd have sold on day one, just sold a PlayStation grey one. Like, I would have bought that day one kind of thing. And a black one, as you said. Like,
But they did that with the PS4. They went, it's our anniversary. Here's a 20th, the 20th anniversary version of the PlayStation 4. Go have at it. We've put 100 quid on that. You can go buy them for yourself.
But when I saw the design and I saw that they were removable, I instantly thought, okay, they'll be selling faceplates then. That's kind of, it like the Xbox 360 faceplate before that. That was designed to be sold that way. They must have designed the console this way. Like, they must have.
You would. I mean, I think
even if it was an
regardless
unintended
of
consequence.
Regardless of whether or not that actually entered their mind, the fact that they've really just, in such a heavy-handed manner, shut people who are invested and excited about their brand from actually doing stuff that could be quite cool and good fun for games. And, even if it was like, hey, look, we'll let you continue doing this, but do you mind if we actually can check that they fit the specs and don't impair the airflow? And in order for us not to ask you to stop, you need to have a PlayStation licensed product thing on this, and we'll take 10%. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but we don't know that. All right. Well, I don't know for the fact, but do we know that isn't what has happened? We've been told that they've been told to stop. I don't know that they've been definitely issued with cease and desist kind of orders. And if they was that the result of them not playing ball with Sony? You don't really know what's going on. I don't really know if they've made public statements on that or if that information's generally available to the public.
But there's two ways you could handle this. This could be, hey, look, this is something we're really excited about working with our colleagues in the community to make an awesome thing.
I agree.
That's one way you go
they've
about
handled
it,
it badly, and they could have handled it a lot better, basically. But yeah.
Well, I mean, but again, it's we've seen kind of this hubris from Sony before, and they're in such a dominant position in the market, although less so, I think, these days, that they kind of, perhaps it's a cultural thing, perhaps it's just a different way of, look, this is ours, we will protect this, right? And it's about, you will do what we say with our product rather than you being able to contribute to how it looks.
I wonder if that's a difference in the mindset of Sony Japan, which kind of run through more of the upper level decisions, versus
Possibly.
Microsoft in America and just their attitudes towards those things as well, basically. But yeah,
I think they just didn't intend to sell them. They just wanted to sell full consoles, and they didn't even think of this stuff. And to answer your question, Tim, yes, they did sell full. They sent out full cease and desist to companies because Dark Plates especially, they printed the cease and desist and showed everyone what it was.
What I'm saying is we don't know the circumstances that... What I don't know is we don't know the circumstances that led to that cease and desist letter. Did they only issue that because the company refused to take out a PlayStation license or didn't want to enter into reasonable conversations? You don't really know. You don't know what led to them actually issuing that cease and desist.
I think the reason Sony puts out is safety, because it's a third-party product and it's not theirs. And it's the same thing with Nintendo when there was the whole thing of the Joy-Cons that were being raffled off for a charity, and Nintendo put a kibosh on that because they weren't official shells to a Joy-Con. It was just the guts of an official Joy-Con stuck in this other thing. And they're like, well, we don't know. That could be a fire hazard because they can do that. Even though it was a charity for someone who died.
A Bane impression.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, Bane. Tom Hardy runs Nintendo, as we all know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, there's got to be more news before we move on to wrapping this show up.
We don't have time, but I'll get you quick impressions on. Epic Games has picked up Rock Band developer Harmonix. I mean, they're allowing... The interesting part about this is they're using them to do some musical projects within Fortnite, but allowing them to carry on with DLC for Rock Band 4. So as long as Harmonix gets to keep working on Rock Band games, I'm a happy man.
What about Drop Mix 2, Coleman?
I've fallen hard off of Drop Mix a good year ago. No, 2 years ago. Fuser was a year ago. Probably about a month after I picked it up. Fuser is really good. I should get back to that.
Yeah, I should probably pick that up as well.
And the other one thing, according to a lot of different reports, it looks like Amazon, which are trying to do a lot in TV at the moment. They've just done the whole Wheel of Time, and they've got the Lord of the Rings thing coming out pretty damn soon as well. It looks like they might be making a Mass Effect TV series. They're approaching the finals of that, how that's going to work out, if it is going to be a thing. Calling it now,
the last episode's going to...
Choose your own
player
adventure.
Choice. You get 3 choices at the end. I still don't know what the ending is. I know it has something to do with 3 colours.
Right.
Let me just beat Mass Effect 1. Leave me alone.
But yeah, this is one of those things where I was instantly quite pleased. But then seeing the amount of people that have dismissed this as, I don't think this is necessarily a good idea, and a few of them being the Mass Effect writers that clearly haven't been asked to be involved in the project yet or at all. And yeah, noticing that there doesn't... Like, it seems to be that EA may have just sold this off without telling anyone at BioWare, maybe because there's no one left at BioWare that worked on Mass Effect. I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are left at BioWare.
But
I get the impression
Tim,
there's like 2 people left.
You do know who might be involved with it?
I do.
Henry Cavill. And that's good because, as you know, Henry Cavill is a gamer just like us. Because he missed the call for Superman because he was playing World of Warcraft and he built a PC on screen. So therefore, he's just like us.
I like him in
chiseled,
the game.
Built like a brick S-house.
The game TV series,
he would have fit right in with those other GamesMaster contestants, I tell you.
Yes, get Henry Cavill on
like
GamesMaster now.
Yeah. The one thing I would hope is that they go for a story that's told in the Mass Effect universe as opposed to trying to reprise a storyline that involves Shepard.
If it doesn't involve Rex, though, I may be angry. That's all I'm saying. And everyone else is going to want a sexy Turian and everything, but...
Yeah, a different Krogan or something, you know?
Just do the Krogan, the whole genophage thing. Do that.
Yeah.
Because
there's loads of interesting stuff that could be it's because it's such a rich universe that hopefully they don't just go straight for the
Rex
seemingly low hanging fruit.
Please. Thank you.
No, I mean like you say that the whole idea when you've got a huge, vast, expansive universes and galaxies and all this kind of stuff, the idea of going, we're going to follow this one dude and his mates again and again and again and again and again. Like, they had a good idea with Andromeda, but they didn't follow it through because, 1, it was meant to be a trilogy that got scrapped after 1, but 2, they got really blasted by EA going, hey, you got to put this thing out now and it is not ready to go out, but you need to put it out now. Scrap your ideas of this self-generating different universes and things for you to follow through. A very No Man's Sky idea, and instead just put out what you got, and it was this horrible glitchy mess that no one liked. I like the idea. If you've got this huge universe to work with, then do different areas, do different people, show us the universes.
But what about a
The Mandalorian doesn't need to keep going back to Tatooine, goddammit.
Yeah, that makes no sense. But
that's where Baby Yoda came from.
What about a Mordin origin story, eh?
Yes.
Eh?
But it's a musical.
I'm in. Mass
See, my
Effect
problem is
musical.
with
Let's
Origin,
go.
No, because when you take characters, if you go, oh, I need to see the origin story of Rex, and like we know his origin because he tells you what his origin is. You don't need to see, and you know it's the prequel problem. That character's not going to die, even though they show him in danger, because you know he's going to be alive for the next thing.
At most, you should have a passing reference in the background just to tie it in to Shepard or another one.
I'll be very surprised if we don't see that.
Yeah, don't do
what
that.
I don't want to see is the one scene that almost ruined Rogue One for me, where they're walking through the thing and they see the guys from the bar and it's the Death Sticks thing and no, don't do that.
No, Death Sticks is brilliant. No, my problem with Rogue One was because they showed the guy before and they were like, oh, it's the guy from the bar who gets his arm cut off and all that kind of pig nose. And then just randomly they went, oh, look, it's R2-D2 and C-3PO going, oh, we're in the film too.
Hey.
Don't do that.
Cha-ching.
No. Don't
I
do
like
that.
the Talia idea, though. Yes, sorry, that is all the news we have time for.
Right. Tim.
Yes.
Timothy, do you have any updates for Geek Out for Gosh or for any other charitable type arrangements?
No, although I give special effects. Special effect? Effect. We can mention them as well. They do great work as well. We haven't mentioned them for a while.
I love special effects.
So, shall we just start doing Charity of the Week instead?
Charity of the Week. Let's do that.
Mate.
That's a good thing.
Tim has to research the charity each time and write a little statement each week.
Oh, don't encourage him to
don't
do
give me
that.
homework. I just won't do it.
He only gets
Ask my
gets
teachers.
2 paragraphs.
He only gets 7 words.
I look forward to your assignment next week, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to describe next week, Tim. We'll give you an easy one. Great or Geek Out for Gosh.
Yes.
You have to describe it in 7 words.
7 words.
7.
7.
I will be counting. All right.
But yeah, just having mentioned them, special effect do great work for disabled gamers and enabling systems and actually making it so that gamers that might not be able to play can get access to games and play. So yeah, they do great work. Go and check out special effect.
Indeed.
I tell you what, if you want to do so, there are a bunch of topics that we've spoken about this week, and you can talk to us about them in our comment section on BigRedBarel.com, on our Discord, which there is a link to on BigRedBarel.com, Facebook.com/BigRedBarel, Twitter.com/BigRedBarel, or YouTube, Big Red Barrel TV. You can give us your opinions on what we've been talking about, but also you could give us suggestions of gaming charities we should be shouting out, because Tim's probably going to forget after week 1. And also, you can ask us questions in such a way that Dan likes to ask. He likes to shout something.
Question.
That's what Dan likes to ask.
Yeah, I do.
Firstly, let's go with Sam Ronan. He wants to know, is anyone actually interested in trying a BRB Halo night as per the podcast? Otherwise, I will go free up those gigabytes on the SSD space, which stands for Super Sexy Drive, as we know.
It's Super Sexy Drive.
Super Sexy Drive.
I mean, I would probably keep Halo Infinite installed because the actual single-player stuff is coming around the corner very swiftly.
Although I don't know
I would really
related. There might be separate downloads, no?
Yeah, I think you can do them separately.
You might be able to do them, so who knows? But it's, I'm sure there will be an influx of players. But I would love to get on Halo.
Yes.
It's just literally finding free time in a stretch that lasts longer than an hour is a challenge at the moment.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be busy this weekend.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can plan something for the next weekend.
Ooh.
Also, we should probably be planning our podcasts for the
I have a group of old friends, literally old friends that have been friends for a long time and are also
70,
old.
80 years old.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, they're looking to get together and play Halo on a regular basis. So there's a possibility of joining in on that. But there's also a possibility that we can spin out and do our own BRB thing if that becomes popular enough as well. Let's start spitballing nights that work for people. So Sam Ronin, let us know a night that works for you. I generally can't do Thursday. I don't know what night we're doing the other friendly stuff as well yet. That's still up in the air. But yeah, let me know, and that's something I'll start planning. Have a look into.
I would say, get onto the BRB UK Discord group, and we'll chat about it on there. But also, we have an Xbox club outside of the Forza clubs, right?
Why not?
I'm pretty sure we do.
Why not?
I'm
sure we do.
Probably do.
Look us up on clubs.
The Forza one.
I mean, look us up on clubs. It will let you know when we're online and stuff, so we can try something out on there as well. Spiky Chris, I have a question. Is Arcane the best screen adaptation of a video game ever? I know bugger all about League of Legends, but Arcane was great. And I can't think of a better video game tie-in series or film. Cool. I also haven't watched it yet.
Mario Brothers, Bob Hoskins, boom.
I do really like the Mario Brothers movie.
Right, I qualify this with a few qualifiers because first of all, as mentioned,
this with a few Jesus,
as mentioned earlier on, this is made by Riot Games and they seem to be getting a free pass at the moment. A few people have mentioned that, and that was one of the things that kind of made me mention it.
I mean, it's licensed by Riot Games. I think it was made by a completely different studio.
Yes, but it's in the universe.
Which I don't get to do these days.
Having said that, I kind of forgot that and watched the first episode before people were mentioning that. And I have to say, I really do like the animation style and it looks quite interesting and good. I also saw Diomed of previous BRB fame saying that he really loved the series as well. So I can understand why people are saying that. Also, I'm wondering how people, because a lot of people talked up the Castlevania manga anime when that was out. And
yeah, I hear that was very good.
I wonder, people who have seen both of them, of which I kind of got into the Castlevania thing and then fell off it and never got back onto it. I didn't dislike it, just lost my place and never went back. And yeah, I haven't watched all of this. So I'd be interested if anyone has seen the both of them. Which one do you think is the greater of the two series? Because they seem to be the two kind of go-to high points that people say. I think Arcane's got a more interesting art style take on things, though. Basically, so yeah.
But Tim, what is your favourite adaptation of a video game into a movie or
King of
TV
Kong
show or whatever? What the flipping documentary?
The documentary.
It's less of an adaptation.
I know. But people generally say, what's your favourite video game film? And that's what I go for. But otherwise, I mean, Mortal Kombat? Street Fighter?
Really?
Street Fighter is not a good film, but I bloody love it.
Change the channel.
It makes me laugh. You got paid?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think in terms of, I mean, there are ones I love, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and flipping, we just said it, Mario Brothers. I do love those for very different reasons.
Yes.
But adaptation-wise, I really liked the most recent Tomb Raider movie. I thought that was really good.
Okay. I think I preferred the older ones. I mean, I didn't dislike this one, and it seemed more like the more recent games.
Is that because you were a teenager and Angelina Jolie, mate?
I mean, yeah, but I quite enjoyed them when they came out. I don't think they stand up to rewatching as much these days, but
I really enjoyed the 2016, I think it was, whatever year that was. That version was really good. The Witcher TV series on Netflix. That's really good.
That's probably my favourite, I think, actually. Yeah.
The later Mortal Kombat movie, although there's
the more recent one, that was
really
good.
Big liberties taken to what is the game story and what is the film story. I really enjoyed that.
That was good. Sonic has to get mentioned as well. Sonic was an enjoyable film.
Sonic, yeah. That was enjoyable.
That was good fun. It's a kind of, more kiddie popcorn movie, but I think it's pretty good for what it is.
I'm looking forward to seeing Idris Elba as Knuckles in the next film.
Yes, much more than I'm looking forward to seeing Chris Pratt as Mario without an Italian accent, as we have coming.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking,
it's Chris Pratt.
Hello,
I really hope if he delivers it like that, then I'm down. Hello.
It's a London accent.
Mario.
Yeah, it's me, Chris Pratt as Mario.
Oh dear. What kind of Muppet put this
if he's not doing an Italian accent,
down, Bowser, you slag.
Even though that's probably a slightly offensive stereotype accent, if he's not doing an Italian accent, he's not doing Mario's accent. Am I wrong? I don't know. Anyway.
Goomba, you'll be seeing the back of my dry hand.
Bowser, you slag.
Bowser, you slag. Those are the ones that I like anyway. I wish we had a Monkey Island movie. I really do. Or a TV show or anything. Something with Monkey Island. Although most of the stuff in Monkey Island has been lifted into the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, although some would argue that those moments were taken from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Yes. So really, Monkey Island. There's a weird thing about Monkey Island.
It's a big self-eating thing.
Ouroboros.
making its own tail. There are.
Ouroboros.
Look on YouTube. There are a few different documentaries that show that there was meant to be a Monkey Island movie in the works, and the idea that might have been turned into Pirates of the Caribbean. So,
And sorry, Dan, I think you'll find it's pronounced Ouroboros.
Aruba?
Game-ass.
Aruba Game Ass.
Aruba Game Ass.
Aruba Game Ass.
That's what you get if you sit on the toilet for too long playing Game Pass in the Caribbean.
Chugnut
Aruba
says,
Game
I
Ass.
have a question. Do you think Forza Horizon 5 climax is too early? I feel disappointed, like a partner who has given too much in a short space of time, and now I can't be asked to give any more of my love, or maybe I should join that BRB group.
Wow.
That other people with similar interests which
Chugnut,
might
get some
reignite
relationship counselling, all right?
Yes.
Just saying. I think there's a subtext or something going on here. Just...
No, I don't think it climaxes too early.
I did have... Yeah, go on.
One of you.
Yes and no. I'm kind of at the point where I really don't want to listen to any more of the voice acting.
I know what you mean.
Oh, mate.
No.
Play Riders Republic.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
Praise the voice acting within Forza Horizon 5.
I think there's a
the
couple
Riders
of things.
Republic voice acting is terrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that's why I don't want to replay the start of that game, because there's so much bad voice acting in the beginning as well.
I'll rephrase. The voice acting's fine. The script writing is god-awful.
Yeah, I mean, but I kind of think both are not great in Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
I actually think some of the voice acting and what they've done with that, so I think actually detracts from the game, I would say.
For me, that's a minor problem, but it is a minor problem. The thing that I found more tricky the other day is I was playing it and I had a touch of the Ubisoft open world game problem of, oh my god, there's too much stuff to do. Oh my god, there's vomited like so many icons over the map that there's one icon on top of another icon. Even when I zoom in, I can't tell the difference between the two icons.
Use the filter. There's a filter button.
I know.
Click the filter button.
But even then, like, I was trying to find the events that are just like the big events that you open up as you go from one chapter to another. And I was trying to find one of the ones that I'd opened that I hadn't started yet. There was no filter that just filtered those events. So I either had everything on and searched for it, or I couldn't find it.
I mean, the good news is they are massive icons that are easily findable, even if everything else is there. Anyway, I think we're getting into a rather Tim-specific problem here. So I think we are going to wrap this show up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should. I'm saying we're going to wrap the show. We're going to wrap the show up. We're wrapping
That's
the show
fine.
up.
I will follow your lead. I think we should have got one of these Ed ones out of the way, but...
which Ed one?
The bottom one, I reckon.
The bottom one. All right. We'll let Ed do that one.
Okay, we'll do this really quick. Okay, Ed says, with the new Spider... Sorry, we're doing Ed voice. With the new Spider-Man trailer having people from different continuities, what game would you want to have crossovers in its own multiverse? A la Sonic Generations, 2D versus 3D Sonic. Spider-Man games.
Not quite what he was saying, but in keeping with things we've spoken about this week, I would like to see a crossover between the Mass Effect universe and the Knights of the Old Republic universe.
That's not what he asked. He said within its own continuity.
I know, but that's slightly outside of its own continuity, but tied together
bio.
So I'll show you what you're
so
doing.
like
You're
a
taking
BioWare
that question
universe.
and answering a completely different question. It's got nothing to do with that question.
Let's just squeeze Jade Empire in there as well, just so I get more Jade Empire, and then it's a complete Bio crossover. We could just have the BioWare fighting game, just like Smash Brothers, like what was that one? Is it?
Well, you don't like Smash Brothers.
Multiverses? Is that the one with the whole Scooby-Doo and Batman fighting each other and stuff?
Yeah, that's the one. I can't let you have I can't let you have a Smash Brothers style game. You can have a Fortnite game instead.
Okay.
I'm sure there would be fun to have with crossovers in the Final Fantasy universe. There must be some fun to be had with that.
That's been done. They've made a Smash Brothers style game with... Well, sorry. First of all, there's... I can't remember the name of it. There was some game on PlayStation, I think it was Energize or something like that, and that had Sephiroth and Cloud and Tifa in it, so that they were like in a fighting game. But also there is a specific Final Fantasy style fighting game that I always forget the name of it, but it's different characters from all the different Final Fantasy games going in and duking it out, and it's really good. And I completely forgot the name of it because I used to play it on PSP. Also, even though it existed on PS4, I think.
Also, Microsoft need a kart racer. So, Halo kart racing, something.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
another great idea.
all
By the
Microsoft
brain
characters.
of Timothy Hibbs, Esquire.
Well, everyone else has tried one. So, about time they did.
Right, there we go. We're done now.
Spider-Man games. All the different Spider-Men doing Spider-Man things in Spider-Man games.
I think that's coming in Spider-Man 2, isn't it?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Let's hope so.
The devil not. Right, we are going to be done. As of this minute, we are done. That's it. It's not me, it's you, Tim.
It's definitely me.
So, thank you for listening to the show. As Com's already mentioned, make sure you go to places of the internet that have BigRedBarel.com in it, because that's where we live. And do say hello on our Discord. Join up with our Forza Car group.
Hello.
Which you'll find either by typing in BigRedBarel or looking for BRB, B-E-R-B, because BRB wasn't allowed. So, there we go. Boo. So yeah, come say hi to us there. So all that really remains then is for me to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been Coleman.
Yeah. And we're going to speak to you next week. We're going to be back in your face head. That's right, all three of us, jostling for room, along with nothing but a little bit of Uncle Juice to lubricate us on the way in.
Uncle Juice.
Uncle Juice. So until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Are quite welcome
for the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
to BigRedBarel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
You get to a certain age and you are no longer a competitive esport, right? And that's at like what, age 25?
You are no longer a competitive esport, Tim. You are no.
I'm a competitive esport.
I am the MLG for the esport of Dan.